Hi guys, if it's Tuesday, it's Down and Dirty Woodscraft. Stay with me. Hi guys, well it's a nice frosty morning and about 35 degrees, so it's nice and crisp out here this morning. And I wanted to share something with you. Everybody loves a good mystery. That's one of the reasons that for many years the bread and butter of the movie industry was some sort of mystery. You have a question or some sort of evidence or some sort of action, and our hero looks to figure out what caused it, why, and all the variables that brought it to be. That's true in just about everything, that we look at on television or whatever. It's some sort of mystery if you break it down. And that's one of the things about being out in the wilderness, that there are clues, just like in those mysteries, all around us all the time. But it's finding what those clues are and how they relate to something else. Now, since I've got many years' experience, it's quite often I'll be with somebody or whatever out in the woods, and they'll say, "Hey, what's this plant?" or "What's that?" or "Who was there?" or "What's a blah, blah, blah." They assume I would know. And I will be honest, I don't know, because no one can know everything in a single lifetime. I'm very knowledgeable because I've taken time to notice and study and focus on these things. But I don't know every plant, every tree, every rock, every piece of whatever. And so as the name of this particular video reflects, I don't know scat. Well, I do, but I don't know all of it. Now let me explain. Scat is poop. And where I first began to really pay any attention to it, really, is when I was a boy and I was learning to hunt. And my grandfather and I would go walk the fields on cold mornings like this, looking for bunnies and things. He taught me to look for sign. Now what sign was in that case was we were looking for bunny trails through the grass. That black eye staring back at you was a dead giveaway. And wherever there was a stump or something elevated, look for the little pellets, which was bunny poop. That was an indicator of a territory marker, because many animals will use things like that as a marker. This is my territory. Cats will do their business and rake up to cover it up. They're making a mound. They're saying this is my area, and they'll mark the edges of their territorial boundaries. Dogs go up and mark trees and things like that. Well, those can be a sign as to what is available in this area. And so my grandfather and I would walk along, and he would point out that pile of bunny poop told me that there was at least a fairly large concentration of bunnies in the area. And because of the amount of it, this was probably a marker for a big bunny, big buck as he called them. So we started looking for the big one. We'd start doing big circles, because it would not be far from that would be the home of this bunny. And we'd start looking for them sitting out in cold morning in the sun trying to warm up. It was reading sign. It's the little clues in the mystery. A track, some hair hung up on a fence, or a strand or two of fur on something can indicate what is around us in the environment and how we can do it. Well, to get this information, you have the greatest resource right now that probably man has ever known, and that's the internet. All you've got to do is just punch in and start looking, and trust me, there'll be pictures and diagrams and in-depth discussion, either from a biology, a zoology, or whatever, a tracker or whatever. But they do make field guides, and that's what I'm bringing up here. Now this is one that I found to be very useful. It's a Falcon guide called Scats and Tracks in North America, and I'll put the ISBN number at the back. But it will show, as you can see there, the animal, its habitat, tracks, poop, and pattern of how it walks. This is a real handy guide for whenever I'm trying to read sign, because I know how to recognize many of the animals in my area. And what brought up the whole idea of this video was I had a young man come to me at my everyday job that's one of my followers, and he had a picture. And he thought that he'd taken on his phone, and he thought that he was looking at a mountain lion track. And whenever I looked at it, I knew immediately that was not a mountain lion, that's a canine. You can see the claws. It was a at-rest track, and there was the canine claws, and I showed him how the heel is different, and etc. And then a little bit later on, there was a picture that he had taken of some scat, and he thought it was mountain lion. Cats are pure meat eaters. They eat a little bit of, grass and stuff, but they don't eat the other stuff. So when you find their excrement, it's usually black. It's usually got a little bit of fur in it, and that's about it. It's like a bigger version of what your house cat does. Well, this was obviously not. There was seeds and stuff in it, so this was obviously a dog, a canine that had eaten something and left his marker. But that's from experience, because I learned how to tell the difference between them. Whenever I'm in a hunting situation, if I find fresh deer droppings that's still warm and you can see steam coming off of it, that's a really good indicator that I'm close to deer, isn't it? So it's the mystery of what all is around us all the time. And many people will get field guides to learn, and I learn from field guides. I think they're a great asset. And being able to go out there, and when I come upon a track that I don't recognize, have a field guide that I can look it up. I know everybody, I'll Google it. That's perfectly viable. Go right ahead. I like being able to have a book that I can sit here and read and thumb through, because I'm old school. You in the modern world may want to just use your phone for this stuff, and that's perfectly fine. But when you find something, take a picture of a track, that piece of hair, whatever, and see if you can figure out the clue of what made this and why. Because that's how you become more immersed in your environment. That was the mark of an old woodsman when I was a boy. It was not just the skills like we think of building a fire and etc. It very much was part of that. But it was how aware they were of their environment. They had spent so much time hunting. They could tell by the sound of a bird's call whether the bird was announcing a predator or was seeing something, or they could tell by a track whether an animal was in a hurry or was leisurely going along. Had that happened at night or daylight? Little clues solve the mystery of finding the animals and understanding what's in your environment. And to me, the best source of that learning is to find some expert that really knows what he's doing, not necessarily some internet personality, but somebody with a lot of alphabet after their name, like PhDs and stuff, that want to publish guides like this. Those are invaluable to me in my learning process, and I just wanted to share that with you today. Hope this gives you some ideas, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below, and thank you very much for supporting my channel. Till next time, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.